Hey, BassGeek here, and have I got something new for you, and it is the right time to be throwing it. We talked about this a little bit in the early winter, and man, did they ever deliver. I can't wait to show you this bait. That's right, geeks. So I've been playing with this bait now for probably about a year, and I love it, but they made a tweak to it that for me makes it even better. And I'm going to explain to you why this is such an incredible little bait and such an incredible and important little tweak when it comes to using these particular jerk baits. This is brand new, literally drops this month. Let me go show you what it is. So we've got a little something else that's new for you too. Now these aren't going to be dropped until the 20th. So this video is going to come out a little bit before that. But these are the Bandit 100 and 200s. They're going to come in some custom limited time colors. This is the bone orange crawl right here in the 100 and 200. And they're going to have, like I said, they're going to have several colors that they're going to be dropping around that time. So make sure, if you love Bandits like I love the Bandit crankbaits, you're absolutely going to want some of these. These are the bone crawl. Love this color right here. Now, they're going to have a couple other colors. I think I might have left some of them at the house, but make sure you go check these out. Now, let me show you the bait that I am super excited about. So I asked for it and they delivered. Booyah has dropped the Flashpoint Deep. Check this bad boy out. Got a little bit bigger bill. This thing has no trouble getting down to about 10 to 11 feet at all on like 10-pound test line. We've been using it all day. We've already caught a couple on it. It has no trouble getting down. This is algae bone. And by the way, what sets this off and makes it different is that right there. They put that blade in there, really gives the bass a target. Puts off a lot of flash. I know you guys seen the standard version. A lot of you were really surprised at how well you could see that. But it also helps if you're using forward-facing sonar because it gives you a really strong return. You have no problem seeing this bait. Now again, this is algae bone. I really love that chartreuse bottom to this. This is a good one too. This is one of my favorite colors right here. Love that gold. It's called Copper Shad. Now these things come in a ton of different colors. I haven't opened up all of them yet. This is Bleeding Pearl. Next up is Midnight Shad. This color is called Vegas. Love the scales on this color. This is called Chrome Dome. Pro Blue. Like this, especially when there's just a little bit more than average stain on the water, and this is Pro Pink. Another good solid color, not as transparent as a lot of these. This is Ozark. Ozark Shad, actually. I left the shad part out. Everybody got to have a little sexiness in their life. This is Sexy Shad. Good color right here. I know the smallmouth are going to love this one. This is called Canary. And last but not least, this is Hyper. Geeks, you need to make sure you get out there and get a good look at these on the website. I do have a 15% off code for Lornet where you can get these. You really can't see the detail in the paint job. Like just looking at the back on Hyper, it's pretty incredible. You should go check them out. But let's talk about where and how I like to fish these things during February. So when I'm around smallmouth, I like to bounce back and forth, and that's the lake that we're on today is predominantly smallmouth. I like to bounce back and forth because I can figure out what depth level they're in by using something like an algae bone, and simply because it's got that chartreuse belly. So if they're a little bit deeper, which they pretty much are right now, I know that chartreuse belly will call them up. They'll see that and they'll come running. Now, sometimes they can be a little bit deeper, but especially toward the end of winter, which we are in, toward the end of winter, late winter is my opinion, even though we've had a great warm up into the 60s and even close to 70 someday. they're still a little bit finicky. So other times I want to go to something that's a little more natural when it comes to a jerkbait. So I'll go back and forth a lot on my colors, and that's why I tie on a clip. Now, you probably shouldn't tie it onto the split ring. You can take the split ring off, but I'm in a hurry. Trust me, we've caught fish doing this. But I'm just trying to see what and where the bass are located, what they want. So I will put on a clip right now and try to go back and forth a lot. Now, the one thing I want to tell you that I found out the hard way about this bait, it's a lot more lighter than you think it is. So you're going to need a pretty soft rod to be able to make the best casts with this bait, to make good long casts, which is what I like to do. But it really surprised me how light this is. It's actually lighter than even some of the Mega Bass 110 Juniors. So be forewarned, you will have no trouble throwing even the deep on a spinning outfit. Now, I'm going to show you what kind of rod, reel, and line I like to use. So you guys see me talk about this in a video a little while back. I have had this rod from Fitzgerald forever and a day. This is the Fitzgerald Versa. It is a 7-foot medium, good soft tip. I believe it is a moderate fast. It may just be a fast, but either way it goes, it's got a really good soft tip. Something that I like a lot. It allows me to cast this bait a mile. Now, I've got it paired up, and I know they upgraded this. I hate the color. They did it in like this all gold. But this is the Lew's Custom Pro. What I like about this reel, it's light, it's small, it's compact. It doesn't overweigh. It keeps the balance of this combo really nice. But it's also fluid. It is smooth as can be. It is a great casting reel for lighter baits, and you can tell how much I've used it. I've about wore the handles clear out on it. Now this is a 6/8 to 1. It's one of my favorite speeds from Lew's. I think Lew's is the only one that actually makes it in that speed, or really in that speed. It's great for walking baits. It's great for jerk baits. One of my favorite, because it doesn't, I just don't reel up and move the bait the way you would with like a 7 or even a higher 7. It's got good silky smooth drag. It's got just a great setup. Now for me, I'm going to throw pretty light line with this. So the line I'm going to throw, it is actually 8-pound test. This is K9 Pro 100. So it's 100% fluorocarbon. It's not the fluoro, which is a copolymer. The copolymer would actually work great with a moving bait like this. It's actually one of the things that I really prefer. I like to use it that way. The reason why I'm going with the Pro 100 is simply because it sinks, and that's one of the things that I like. It actually helps me get this bait down even deeper, even with 8-pound test line. So geeks, remember, a jerkbait really is a bait that's going to call bass to it because of the erratic action. So I know this is going to dive to about 10 feet. One of the things that I might do is contour bank, but I'm going to stay out in about that 15 foot. I'm going to make sure my boat stays at about that 15 to 20 foot. And if it's clear, maybe even farther than that. So what I may do is cast up, and I'm going to 45, cast up there and work it down that bank, and then have it come out over a little bit open water, that deeper water. And cadence, you know, something that I've kind of figured out, you know, we used to talk about how we would wait 5 minutes between a jerk and a pause in the colder water. Well, today the water temps are 43, and that's pretty much as cold as it really gets down here. It'll dip down into the upper 30s sometimes. But for me, what I found out is that a slower cadence is okay, but any of those really ultra long pauses, the bass don't seem to really care. So I'll show you kind of my favorite cadence, and it's a good one to start from. So I'm always going to make a long cast. If you're in dirtier water, you don't really have to. We got some pretty dirty water right here today. Maybe a little dirtier than what I would normally throw a jerkbait in. Probably get around the corner just a little bit. It clears up a little bit. But I'm going to make that 45-degree cast, and I'm going to jerk it down. A lot of guys will reel it down, but because of the banks I'm fishing, I want it to contour down because we could call some bass out of those rocks come up to hit it. If you're fishing a little more open water, like you know the bass are in 10 feet and you want to get it down, go ahead and give it a couple of cranks of the reel to get it down there. Otherwise, just go ahead and contour that bank until you figure out how deep those bites are coming. Once you've got that figured out, then you can kind of set your boat out there. But if I'm fishing deeper, one thing about a deep diving jerkbait, it's great around docks. It's great around floating docks or any type of dock or marina because it's getting down below those floats or below that deck. It's also great when you're trying to call them up from even deeper than, like I said, this one runs at about 10 feet. So it calls them up from even deeper than that. Now, as far as the cadence goes, my favorite cadence is going to be jerk, jerk, pause, jerk, pause, jerk, 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 pause. It really is that, and I'll just switch it up, and it really is, to me, I think anything that has a true cadence, so if you just repeat that loop, I think it's bad. So sometimes, you know, because nothing in nature really has this consistent pattern. No bass has a consistent pattern. Your fingerprints don't have consistent patterns. You know, for me, a lot of times I'm not going to stick to a true cadence. It's going to be jerk, pause, jerk, pause, jerk, jerk, pause, jerk, pause, jerk, 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 pause. I'm going to make it as erratic as I can. I really think that's the key to bass fishing. And I'm probably not going to pause for more than about 3 to 5 seconds most of the time. We've caught them out here today doing this, and I was fishing a little fast, and I quickly understood, again, watching on forward-facing sonar, that it was that jerk, pause, jerk, jerk, pause, jerk, 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 pause. So it was about that speed, and that's what we caught all of them doing. Hook sets, as always, with treble hooks. You know, I'm just going to kind of side to a 45-degree hook set, just kind of come up at that, 45-degree angle. Get my rod tip down and make sure the bass isn't going to jump. Get them up here, get a net. It is treble. Either boat hop them if it's a dink. If it's a big one, get that net out, because most of the time these trebles are a little bit smaller and you're going to rip out the treble or they're going to come loose. And these baits come with some good treble hooks. I wouldn't change these hooks out unless I wanted something bigger to help get it down deeper. They are sticky, let me tell you. But I would get the net if it's a bigger bass, for sure. Now, I will tell you, I don't like, we talk about this all the time. I don't like dead, slick water when I'm throwing a hard bait. One of my favorite things about the Deep Dive app is that you can find the banks where there's some wind blowing in on them. You can find the watercolor. So even if I don't have any wind and I can come up into a place like this where I've got just a little bit of stained water, I can use that map. We just had a little bit of shower here a minute ago. We can tell what the weather's going to be, and we can look. I love this app. It is becoming more and more when it comes to planning a fishing trip. That's really what I use the most now, is the Deep Dive app, because I can get on there and monitor the weather for 3 days or a week before. I can see what the watercolor is going to be in the section of lake, and I can see the day I go and the days previously what banks are getting hit by the wind. And that's going to position these bass and tell me where I need to go. Make sure you go check out the Deep Dive app. First link in the description. Get that free trial. All right, so make sure you go check these out. They're the Flashpoint by Booyah, the Deep Dive, brand new. So if you want to show the fish something that they haven't seen, go check this bad boy out. Now, if you want to learn more about some jerk baits in the cold weather, then make sure you go check this video out right here. Otherwise, questions and comments in the comment section below. You geeks know I love to talk about fishing with you. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get the notifications. Be part of the 100% Watch Squad. You geeks rock.